Okay, guys, we're recording. We are talking today about the personal styling appointments, the like who, what, when, where, why I use them, how you guys can utilize them, and why I think everybody should be doing these. I am Lauren Boyle, for those of you guys that don't know who I am. I want to start with just letting you guys take a quick screenshot if you have a phone or something else, or if you can just write it down quick. This is the link to my styling questionnaire. And it is, if you can't see it, or if you're not someplace where you can type it, it's bit.ly/stylemelauren, and the style, each word has an uppercase letter. So style, me, and then Lauren are all uppercase. And that's the questionnaire that I send out to each of my styling appointments, which will make sense a little bit more in a minute. Okay, so I wanted to start with the what is a personal styling appointment. So the purpose of a personal styling appointment is so that I can spend focused time with one customer, getting them a whatever they need to help with their wardrobe needs. So they might not have any clothes, or they actually might have too many clothes, but whatever it is, they don't have clothes that are functioning for them for whatever reason. And that's part of what you're going to want to do in that style questionnaire, is kind of drill into what exactly their needs are, because not every customer will have the same needs. Why do these? So a couple reasons. Towards the end of last year, I was starting to feel like my business was like just super boring and stagnant. And like I felt like my customers were feeling like that too. Like it wasn't just me feeling that. And I was super consistent, but I was super consistent doing the same thing every day, week after week, month after month. And I think we were all just kind of like, I mean, okay, like we've seen the clothes before, like what do we do with them? And I was seeing the same customers purchase a lot of clothing, but it felt to me by what they were purchasing and how they were purchasing it, they really weren't buying clothes that were working for their lifestyle. They were kind of just buying the stuff that they thought was pretty. So I wanted to find a way to like service my customers better. And for those of you that haven't thought about it this way before, the only way that we make money is by adding value. So yeah, we sell clothing, but if our customers don't perceive that we're adding value into their lives, they're going to stop shopping with us. So I wanted to find a way that I could add value to my customers. I could connect with them more personally, because I wasn't feeling like I was really getting to connect with my customers on a personal level. And also help them like make better choices for their closets. I think especially in the new year, most people are kind of looking at New Year's resolutions, and they're looking at things that they might want to change. A lot of people feel like there's a lot of excess in the society, and so wanting to be like a little bit more minimalistic, but not really understanding how to do that. And I'd already been speaking with my customer base a lot about capsule wardrobes, which is essentially just being very intentional with your clothing purchases. So all of your pieces work together and are functional for your lifestyle. And that'll look super different depending on who you are. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, or if you're like an older woman that takes care of like your grandkids, or if you go into a working environment, like all those people need really different clothing choices. So that was my why. The who is customers, new customers and existing customers, any woman. My particular customer base is typically somebody in my age demographic, so like you're like mid-30s to mid-40s with kids, or I also reach the demographic of that person's mom. So I have a lot of daughters and moms that shop together. So those are the two demographics that I seem to reach. So I kind of target my branding towards that group. When you want to set a specific schedule for these, because you do want to be consistent. So I would start with scheduling in 1 day a week. It doesn't really matter the time of day that you do these. It's super helpful if the person can be on live with you, but we'll get into that a little bit more later, but it's not necessary. So pick a time and a day that's going to work for you, that you're going to be able to do them, because you want to do them every week. You want people to be able to count on this. And you don't want to have to be looking at your schedule every week and like thinking like, okay, how am I going to fit this in, or where am I going to fit this in? Because that's going to be really confusing for you and your customers. And then where. So like a lot of things that I'll train on, I believe that this is going to work. It's really only going to work live. And I think the reason why is because you're going to be able to show your customers in real time how they're going to style all these pieces, how they're going to wear them together. You can physically hold the pieces up, pair them with different things, talk about their body shape, talk about what they were looking for, talk about their lifestyle, how these things are going to work. You can show them on yourself. You can show them on a mannequin. And you're not just doing this for this one customer, although you're giving that customer your full attention when you're talking about them. The other people that are watching and all the people that will watch your replay, they're going to get ideas too. And all of that just works way better live. This is a great idea for somebody that maybe is scared to do a live sale, because that's not really the purpose of this. Yes, you'll probably sell clothing, but that's not really the primary focus. The primary focus is adding value into your customers' lives and showing them how to style pieces. So that's, I think, a really good way to kind of get started and feel a little bit more comfortable. It's also a really good way to build engagement in your group, because anytime you're live, your group is going to be notified. What I found is that sometimes customers seem to feel guilty watching sales if they're not purchasing. They'll be like, oh, I'm not supposed to be buying right now, so I shouldn't be watching a sale. But this isn't really a sale. It's more of an educational tool for them. So then they'll stay on and watch, because they're getting information that can help them with their own wardrobe that they already have. And it also will help you to book future styling appointments, because people will watch and they're going to want to be the center of attention too. And they want somebody to pick out outfits just for them based off of the information that they've given to a stylist, and have their own appointment. So that's going to help get more and more of these. Okay, so I can't take credit for the idea. I am especially if you're one of my directs, but if you're anywhere on my team, you've heard me say a million times that I have a master's degree in YouTube University. If I need to know something, or if I'm confused about something, or if I've heard something, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to YouTube and find a video of it. And at the end of last year, when I was starting to just feel like really bored with my business, I started getting on YouTube and I started watching trainings, any training I could find that had to do with clothing boutiques. Not necessarily brand specific, because a lot of times when you're in a brand, we all start having the same ideas and we just like recycle the same ideas over and over again. So I started looking for outside new ideas. And this was an idea that I saw being utilized. I saw some trainings on, and there was a few different suggestions for how to implement these, why they were working, and then kind of some success stories for how they were moving people's businesses forward. So I thought, okay, this is a great thing for me to implement. So kind of the nuts and bolts. You need to have that style form. So mine is bit.ly/stylemelauren, and the style me and Lauren are all capitalized, the first letter of each of those words. And here's the thing again. I don't know if you guys can see that good enough or if it's blurry, but that is the link for my form. I would check that form thoroughly, have somebody else maybe check it for you before you blast it out to everybody. The first form I did, I forgot to ask for people's names and emails. Small problem, because I had 5 people fill out the form and they were super excited to sign up for a styling appointment. No clue who they were. So that was a problem. I will say when you first try to implement this, your group doesn't really know what you're doing. Like, this is the first time you're gonna be watching this. You're probably gonna go on YouTube and do some searching for other people's ideas on how to do this. So you've done research on this. You know all about it. They don't know anything about it. So like, just like you were probably like, what's she doing? That's what your customers think. And you're only gonna have gonna have a small percentage of customers that even see your post about this or see a live about this. Then an even smaller percentage that would have the kind of personality that would sign up for it, and then an even smaller percentage that would actually like complete the follow through that has to go along with it. So if you post this and nobody signs up, like, don't think to yourself, okay, that doesn't work, because that's not what that means. Okay, it's going to take a little while for your group to get used to this and to understand what you're doing. Plus, the truth is, especially for a lot of you guys that haven't been live, like, your group is probably going to need to see you style a couple people to like even trust that like you're going to do it the way that they're interested in somebody styling them. Because maybe you haven't really been putting outfits together, or maybe you really haven't been talking about this with your customers before. So they're going to have to see it. So a couple suggestions for that. Number 1, you want to ask directly a small group of people that are your shoppers. So whoever has been shopping with you recently, ask them directly. Say, hey, I'm starting something new. It's really cool. It's personal styling. Basically, I pull outfits just for you, totally no obligation. It helps me learn how to put outfits together and learn how to adjust to different people's styles. And it might help you learn how to put things together that you already wear. So if you would be my guinea pig, it would really help me, because then it would help me get better at this. So ask them like you're asking for a favor. Like, I need help because I'm just getting started and I need to learn how to do this. I need to practice. You will get people that say yes if you approach it like that. Once your group starts to see you do these, they're going to ask, how do I get one? How do I do it? And you're just going to tell them, hey, if you want to do this too, all you have to do is sign up, use this link. So you need to get your first couple people. You can always style another rep. If you really can't get anybody, style another rep. You can style a family member, a mom, a daughter, a sister, honestly, anybody. You can style a fake person. Nobody has to know that the person is a fake person. If you really need to show your group what it is that you're doing, if they're just like, I don't know what this is, I don't understand this, if they need to see what you're doing first, then style Susie Q. Hey, and you could even tell them. You could say, hey, I know that you guys probably need to figure out what it is that I'm doing, what this personal styling appointment means. This is what it looks like. I'm going to style somebody that's a stay-at-home mom that wants like a date night outfit or like a night out with their girlfriends. This is what I would pick for them. Here's what I would pick for somebody that goes to work Monday through Friday and needs to wear something business casual, but needs to be, cute and comfortable on the weekends. That's what I would pull for that person. So style like a type of lifestyle, basically. So once you do this, you want to do at least 2. I do 5, but I would say at least 2 or 3, and 4 is a nice number, to do back to back, all in one time slot. So you're going to schedule all those people for 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. And each one is only going to take 15 minutes. Now, I've been doing this for several weeks, and I will tell you, it literally just takes 15 minutes. Even when you're like yakking like I do, I'm like, it's still 15 minutes. You do want to probably just kind of have a timer there, because you want to, not only do you want to make sure you're staying on task yourself, because you don't want to be on, if you can sell 10 items in an hour, you don't want to stay on for 2 hours to sell 10 items, because you've just lowered your hourly wage. So, and you also want to teach your group that you're respecting their time. Like, tell them, hey, I told you this was going to be a 15-minute appointment, and I want to respect your time, and I want to keep it to 15 minutes. And it'll also keep the interest of the people watching also. If you move through each person 15 minutes at a time, it'll keep the other people watching you longer. So that's good all around. You are going to pull, I say 10 to 15 pieces. It basically equates to about 3 to 5 outfits. You want each outfit to have about 3 or 4 components. So you always want to have a layering piece with every single outfit. So like a top, a skirt, a vest, and then maybe even like a cardigan. And then you want to make sure that the cardigans and the vests can switch with other outfits. You want most of the pieces to be able to be used together. That way, if they fall in love with the shirt, you've shown them, hey, you can wear it with these 3 things. The other trick that I like to do is I like to go back in their purchase history with me, and I like to see what they've purchased from me the last couple months. And I just take a little note down when I'm pulling their styling outfits. And if I still have any of those pieces, I will pull that piece and I will try to style around those pieces. And I'll say, hey, I'll hold up a ruffle and like a pair of leggings and a cardigan. And I'll say, hey, Jessica already has this ruffle. These leggings and this cardigan are a perfect match. So you can just add these leggings and this cardigan, which also goes with these other pieces over here. And now you've extended your wardrobe and you already have that ruffle. So it doesn't feel to them like I'm trying to just sell them on extra pieces. I've actually thought about what they have in their closet, and I'm trying to help them use pieces they already own. Because the truth is, it really doesn't help us for them to purchase. I tell this to my customers all the time. I'm like, obviously, I love it when you guys buy clothes, but it doesn't help me if you buy clothes and you put them in your closet and you don't wear them. Because then it's a daily reminder that you're spending money on stuff that isn't useful to you, and then you stop shopping with me. So that doesn't help me at all. And you're also not wearing them. Like when you wear clothing, it's an advertisement for me. So now you're not advertising for me either. So you don't want that. You want to help them use what they have, because then everybody will be much happier. So, okay. A couple questions that I've gotten about this that I think most of you probably have are, how big of an inventory do I need to have do this? You need to have a big enough inventory that you can put together some outfits. However, it doesn't need to be a certain number of pieces because that's going to have much more to do with how you've planned your inventory. So if you've done a good job planning your inventory and you've done a good job planning to have some basics, I always like to have a black skirt. Doesn't really matter if it's a maxi skirt or flounce or whatever, but some kind of black skirts, several different layering piece choices, and then some basic tops. Then you're going to be able to do this for at least 2 or 3 people at a time once a week. The other thing that will be nice for you to do is to have these planned ahead of time, have them planned at least a week ahead of time, and use your launch orders and give them first dibs at that special piece that comes in. I did that with my jeggings. I added in the jeggings. Now I used the colored ones because I thought that, one, I thought they went with the pieces that they bought. 2, I wanted the other customers that I had to see them and get excited for the colored jeggings because I knew sometimes with color, people get scared, like, how am I going to wear that? So I've already now shown the rest of my group, hey, how are you going to wear those really pretty, like, Venetian red jeggings? And I've given them first dibs at an item that they know is a hot ticket item. So now they feel even more special than they already did with a styling appointment. And it also gave me a chance to show them how to wear jeggings and the sizing on jeggings. Because they would say, oh, what size are those? Well, I pulled these for you because this is how they fit. So all of those things. So don't feel like you need to have this massive inventory in order to do this. Is it easier for me to pull 5 outfits per person times 5 people twice a week because I have 2,000 pieces? Yeah, it definitely is easier. Can you do this for 2 or 3 people once a week on a smaller inventory? Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're managing your inventory well and you're making sure that you have a selection of tops, a selection of bottoms, and a selection of layering pieces. Now, sometimes your outfits might not be a top, a bottom, and a layering piece. If your person told you, all I wear is jeans, I live in jeans, you're going to be pulling them tops and layering pieces and maybe some dresses. See where I'm going with this? So not every outfit you pull them has to have a bottom. I know not everyone loves leggings. We don't always have a full stock of jeggings, and skirts aren't people's jam either. So make sure you're reading that content that they gave you really carefully. Asking the right questions is going to be crucial. So crucial. I was very careful in how I worded all of my questions. I asked them, and I would encourage you to look at my form, just copy it if you want, or add or take away whatever you want. But I asked them their favorite Agnes, I asked them their sizes in Agnes and Dora, their normal top and bottom sizes. I asked them to give me additional information. So I was like, you know, if you have really narrow shoulders or if you have a larger bust, I need that information. I also gave them a link to a body shape quiz, because knowing if they are an apple shape, a rectangular shape, a pear shape, or an hourglass shape, what you will pull for each of those body shapes should be completely different. Because what looks good in an apple shape makes me look like 40 pounds bigger than I am, and I do not need to look 5 pounds bigger than I am. So, and some of you are probably like, well, I don't know what you would dress each shape. You can go online and in 5 minutes you can read what would be flattering for an apple shape, what would be flattering for a pear shape, and you know in your inventory what silhouettes kind of fit those descriptions. And if you know what body shape you are and you know what looks good on you, now you already know how to dress 1 or 2 body shapes. And if you know what doesn't look good on you, that's probably going to dress the other body shapes really nicely. So for example, swings look really bad on me. I don't look good in swings because it goes out and I'm a pear, so I don't need extra bulk at the bottom. So an apple shape, they love swings. So just the opposite of my body type is an apple, and they love swings. I don't like swings, so you can kind of balance it that way. I also asked them what their favorite pieces were. I asked them what pieces they wanted to try, and then I asked them specifics about like colors and patterns, like what colors do you love? What colors do you not love? Are you interested in patterns? Are you like a no on patterns? Do you like florals? Do you refuse to wear florals? Because all that's going to be really important. I had somebody and she said, I won't wear florals and I hate the color blue. Well, I mean, that's good information. because there is a lot of inventory in this room that's floral and or blue. And if I wouldn't have known that, most of what I would have picked for her based off of the rest of her criteria would have had one of those two things in it, and then she would have bought nothing. Instead, she bought 5 things because I knew the colors and I knew her lifestyle. Also, what do they do for work? What's their typical go-to outfit on the weekends? What's their typical go-to outfit during the week? All of that information is going to be really good. You want it to be long enough that they know that you have all the information that you need. You want it to be long enough that they feel like they take it seriously, because you want them invested in this appointment because you're investing your time in it. If you're going to invest 30 minutes in pulling clothing from them, you want them to be invested in the appointment. But you don't want it to be so long and tedious that they stop halfway through and don't want to finish. So kind of walk the line there. Get all the information you need, but don't make it super tedious for them. The other thing that I do is, and this basically just, it gives them an appointment. 2, it makes it feel more like legitimate. And 3, it takes the burden off of my plate from having to schedule something. And 1, I'm like all of us, super busy, but 2, like that's not my strong point. That kind of follow up, like I just, like if I have to follow up with somebody over and over and over again, like it'll never happen. Like I don't have that much time and energy. So I set up an Eventbrite event. It's free for the purposes for what we're going to use it for. They will literally sign up for a ticket. Now the tickets are free, but they are getting themselves a slot, and you can tell it which days, which times, and how many tickets are available. So I have told mine that my events are Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock, and I have 5 tickets available for each. So the day before or 2 days before, whenever I have time to do this, I go in, I look at who signed up, it gives me their email address. I'll back up. I'm going to finish what I'm saying, and then I'll back up a little to explain what I do as soon as I see that they signed up. When I'm ready to pull the outfits, I go and I look at who signed up. It gives me their name. It gives me their email. I compare that to my Google Doc. I see their form. I print out their Google Doc form, and I look to see if they've purchased anything from me in the last couple months. I write that on their Google form, and then I go to my inventory and I start pulling. It takes me about 30 minutes to pull each person's capsule. I look at what they've said. I look at the things that they tell me they're most interested in trying, and I pull a couple of those pieces in like coordinating colors or patterns, and then I try to just expand from there. Okay, how can I make this cohesive? Okay, working backwards just a little bit. When Eventbrite will send you an email, and it'll say, for some reason, I'm not signed into my account, and so it thinks that I'm not on a pro account, so it thinks that it's going to kick me off in 10 minutes. If that happens, I will come back on, and I should be done with this part of it, and we'll do the question and answer. Okay, so if it cuts you off in 10 minutes, I apologize. Okay, so when somebody signs up, you will get an email from Eventbrite. It'll say somebody signed up for an appointment. You're going to email that person, and you're going to say, yay, I'm so excited you signed up for a styling appointment. Here's a link to the Google form so that you can tell me all about your styling needs so that I can pull outfits appropriate for your lifestyle. You're going to do that right away. That way the person has the Google form. When you check back the day or the 2 days before, if for some reason they haven't filled out that Google form, you're going to email that person right away, and you're going to say, hey, I'm super excited for your appointment. The only way I can do your appointment, though, is if I have this form back in the next 12 hours because I need time to pull your pieces for you. And they'll fill it out right away because they all want to keep their appointment. The purpose of the appointment in your mind needs to be that you are adding value to that person and showing them how to wear clothing for their body shape, what pieces of clothing are going to look best on them, and how to utilize things that they already own or make future purchases. If and when they purchase during the live sale, that's awesome. But don't make that be your focus, because the appointment won't go the way you want it to go. Is if your focus is on trying to sell that person those 15 pieces of clothing, this won't be successful for you, because your mindset needs to be on teaching that person. If it's just a sale, it's just a sale, and they've seen that before. But if it's an education for them, then that's something different, and now you have added value to them. Chances are they are going to make a purchase, if not multiple purchases, and I was expecting for this to build more slowly than it has. I was expecting to be doing this for a month or 2 months before I started seeing any sort of consistency, but I did them on Thursday, and I had 5 appointments on Thursday, and I ended up having to be a little bit flexible because there was some miscommunication with time zones, and I did not confirm with them ahead of time, so that was my error. I should have emailed them ahead of time and said, just confirming, this is the time in the different time zones. People have a hard time with changing the time zones. I do too. So because I didn't do that, I had to kind of be flexible with my day, and I had to do them a little bit off from each other. But between those 5 styling appointments, I did $1,800 in retail in just styling appointments. One person bought all 15 of her pieces. She's never shopped with me before. Her mom introduced her to the brand. And I read her styling appointment very carefully. I picked things that I really thought that would benefit her lifestyle, and she agreed. So what I found is that when you truly look at it as how you can add value to that person's wardrobe, you'll be rewarded with your efforts, and other people will shop also. Now, my original idea was to set up these styling appointments, do 5 back-to-back, and then do like a lightning round where I sold off pieces that the person hadn't claimed, that the styling appointments hadn't claimed. But I haven't done that. And the reason why is because our inventory is different than a different company that just has mystery inventory. And for the most part, if I'm showing Susie Q a vest, I have that vest in every size. And so even if she doesn't buy it, I have every size of that. And I've shown the customers how to wear it. I've shown it with a cute top. It has been more lucrative for me and a better use of my time to have my party site updated and ready to be open when the styling appointment is off, so that they can go and they can find the pieces that they saw and they can add those to the shopping cart themselves, than for me to stay on the live and try to find and piece together, because remember, it's not really just 10 SKUs. It's 10 times 6 sizes. So, or 7 sizes even, if you carry double extra small. So it's not just, hey, do you have that cargo vest in medium? Because typically, if you are working with another company, if you show that person 10 items and the person only bought 2, you only have 8 items left. But for us, we have 8 times maybe 6 or 7 because of sizes. That's too time consuming, and I've found that you lose people's attention. So it's been better for me to say, hey, if you want a styling appointment, this is how you sign up. I'll make sure I put the link below in the comments, and it's above if you want to sign up for one. Also, all the pieces I've shown, I have most of these in most sizes on my party site, and then give them your party site. That's been a better use of my time. And it's also seemed to make my personal shoppers, some of them weren't ready to make decisions right then. And when I've allowed them that day, when I'm like, hey, just get back to me tonight, because once I put my inventory away, it'll be hard for me to remember what I showed you. That's how I say it. So if you can just PM me by tonight and let me know what you wanted. Every time that I've had somebody do that, they've purchased multiple items. And the one person that bought her whole capsule, she did it through PM 2 hours later. So sometimes they just need to process it, check out their closet, think about it, watch the video over again before they're ready to make the purchases. And I think for our situation with our inventory, I think that seems to be maybe a better way for us to choose to do it than having them make that snap decision and then getting ready to just sell it off. So that for me personally, that's been a better way to do it. So at this point, I don't plan on doing that like flash round at the end. So, okay, I'm going to turn off the recording real quick. I'm going to pop off and I'm going to pop back on my account so that we don't get cut off. And then I will answer all of your questions and unmute you guys, okay?